Hi guys, welcome to Angie Uploaded. I want to thank you for stopping and pushing play. I know it's been a minute since I've been with you guys. I do have a story to tell you about today, and it's not an easy one to take. So give me just a minute, and I'll tell you all about it. Today I'm going to tell you about Chad Doerman. Now, this is a very recent case. All right, Chad Doerman lives in Claremont County, Ohio, with his 3 sons, daughter, and wife. On June the 15th, this past June, a call comes in to 911. It's about 4:15 p.m. It's on a Thursday, and there's this woman screaming that her babies have been shot. 3 minutes later, another 911 call came in, and it was from a young girl yelling that her father was killing everyone. So the deputies, they're sent over to Laurel Lindell Road over in Claremont County. And I say it like that because this is my local area, okay? I'm not too far from there. And the deputies found Chad sitting on the steps with his rifle sitting next to him. Now, what Chad had done, he had executed, execution style, his 3 sons, Chase, Hunter, and Clayton, 3, 4, and 7. One tried to get away, run for his little life, and Chad grabbed him and brought him back and executed him. The horror that that baby could have been feeling, thinking about the one person in his life besides mom that he trusted the most. The deputies arrived. They tried CPR. There was nothing that could be done. Laura, the mom, she was even shot in her hand, grabbing the rifle, trying to save at least one of her babies, but to no avail. Now, of course, she was taken to the hospital. Hers were not life-threatening, but you could tell that she, did what any good mom would do. Now, Chad, he was arrested without incident. I'll even show a clip of the body clip of when they got. But here's the thing. People are trying to figure out why. I mean, the only thing that was in Chad's past was in 2010, he and his dad had gotten into an altercation, and Chad was arrested for DV. The charges were later dismissed. Chad's dad is having a super hard time with this because he feels like Chad was super dad, right? He believes he just snapped. He doesn't know why, whether it was a financial, mental, job. I mean, he's been unable to speak with Chad about it. Now, of course, Doerman confessed to everything. And you'll see when I show you the body cam footage that he's very nonchalant about what had just happened and the situation that was going on around him. There'll be a little bit of salty language in the clip, but I think it's well justified and I'm leaving it in there. But allegedly, according to CBS Austin, Chad had planned the shootings for several months, and this was in court documents. This did not happen on a whim, says David Gast, head of the Claremont County Prosecutor's Office Criminal Division. He said this in court during Doerman's arraignment on that Friday morning. Gast also said the trauma that this man has inflicted on his family, the community, law enforcement, first responders, and all of the rest of us who have any idea of what is going on here is unspeakable. During the arraignment, Chad stood near a deputy. Of course, he was wearing a protective gear. And in one part of the clip, you can see him crying. Otherwise, he just looks maybe lost, a little stoic. But I have that clip as well. The evil horror of what we know is impossible to process. An act of just incomprehensible cruelty. The father lines up his 3 young boys and executes them with his own rifle. Gast also added, in an act of desperation, the mother at some point grabbed the rifle that the father was wielding to attempt to protect them. And I'm sorry if you hear a noise in the background. It is my dog. She's snoring. So now I'm going to play you a few clips.
Where's he at?
He's shooter still on the porch.
Get him right here. You got him on the porch.
We've asked, that's the last place we've been told.
You show me your hands now! Stand up and walk towards us! Stand up now! Walk towards us! Stand up with your hands!
I'm not following command.
Stand up
I'm
now!
not showing hands, so we're following command. His name is Chad Doerman. Chad Doerman.
I know, but
We gotta go.
I know, but we can't.
People need first aid, and he's not complying. And you know he's the shooter. Shoot him.
We gotta find cover first. We ain't no good if we ain't safe ourselves. Hey, no. We need to come from this side where we can see them. Don't take cover behind her. We see them. We're going to approach from this side. We got cover. Right here.
6 covered.
We gotta go.
29 and 63 is check out.
We're not working right now.
Show us your fucking hands now!
Stand up!
Stand up! Stand up!
Stand up now! Stand up!
Stand the fuck up!
EMS to stage and air carrier is going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands out of here.
72.
Tell them we're 21. It's in the air.
Those guys can confirm that there's people that need first aid, and that's the shooter. He's not complying. They need to take care of the
I got it.
victims. They have to shoot him and shoot him.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm completely sober. Never did drugs a day
63,
in my
we're
life.
21. Get the EMS over here.
Well, I did drugs when I was little, but I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you.
63.
Get your butt inside. Gatlin, get your butt inside.
We on primary?
Now.
29, we got 3 kids down.
3 kids down, 16 feet up.
Gatlin.
63, we're 21.
Knock
Have
it off.
EMS respond over here.
You're clear, they're being advised.
Robert 34, just started mass custody response.
63, do you want them to respond to the Laurel Lindale address? Where exactly do you need them?
We're right in the front yard.
He took my life from me! My life!
What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt
You
nobody.
got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
All right.
He won't bite you.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna
I
get
ain't
you
gonna
here
do
in a
nothing. I ain't running
second.
away. You can do whatever you want with me.
Here. You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house?
yeah.
Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
This is Will. This is Will.
They're all being advised they've requested 2 additional medics. There's also air carriers flying, but they need an LV and medic coming. Yes.
Can you get the wallet out of my back pocket?
Shut up, dude.
21.
You had the right to remain silent, you fucking user.
Yes, sir.
Take the call, I'm on the mouse right now. I'm almost there. Yeah, 9 is where Chief and Captain's away.
21.
Wasn't that horrendous? Those babies never had a chance. And still, the question is, why? Well, like I said, Chad had his arraignment, and he was charged with killing them, and he was given a $20 million bond, and rightfully so.
State of Iowa is Chad Doerman, 2023 CRA 1975. This matter is before the court today for purposes of bond hearing. Mr. Kelm, you were here on behalf of Mr. Doerman, Mr. DeCalvi, Mr. Gadd.
That a bond of $75,000 with order conditions will be imposed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeCalvi.
Judge, at this point, I'm going to let Mr. Gast handle the bond for an hour and a half. Thank you.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Judge, we've got law enforcement with us here today. Our office has been involved. Lots of people in our office have been involved with law enforcement throughout yesterday afternoon and evening, all the way through this morning. And the facts I have for you at this point are as follows. The trauma that this man has inflicted on his family, the community, law enforcement, first responders, and all of the rest of us who have any idea what's going on here is unspeakable. There's been a full admission in this case, Judge. The case is still new. We're still discovering facts. Incomprehensible cruelty. The father that stands before you lined up his 3 young boys, and he executed them in his own home with a rifle. They were ages 3, 4, and 7, Judge. In an act of desperation to save her children, the mother at some point grabbed the gun. The father was able to flee into a field near the home. And again, we know from his admission, father hunted that boy down, drug him back to the property, and executed him in front of witnesses. The mother was shot through the hand in her attempt to protect her children. To just begin to imagine their fear. This was the man that every day they woke up looking to for protection, love, guidance in all things. The man they trust more than any other person on earth. The person they rely upon to keep them safe from harm. He was their world. He was their guardian. And he executed them in cold blood. We know that from his admission. One of the most monstrous, craven, cowardly acts that will ever be our misfortune to see. To make things even more disturbing, Judge, this was no haphazard act. Again, by his own admission, he planned the happened on a whim. He's confessed to what I believe is the worst crime, at least I hope, that I'll see in my lifetime. I hope it's the worst fact pattern that ever comes before this court. Judge, it's important for the court to know, and the Monroe Township Fire and EMS and other first responders bravely respond to the scene where they don't know what's going on. They did not know what they're facing, and they come into a scene that no one can ever be prepared for. No law enforcement training, no training of any kind prepares you for this. It's easy to forget that these are men and women with families, children, feelings, emotions. They're not some automaton performing a delegated function. They're people. 10-year-old children. They held these boys in their arms, knowing there was nothing they could do to save them. How long do those scars last? What day do you wake up from that and did he have access to a weapon? Yes, obviously he did. The weight of the evidence against the defendant at this point, Judge, we stand here with a full admission of the defendant. That also goes to the confirmation of the defendant's identity, and witnesses on scene did see at least part of what happened. Next, the court is to consider the likelihood this person would return the court if a bond were issued. Again, this is the most heinous crime with the most severe penalty under the law that we presented to the grand jury. That alone would be a major factor in discouraging a person from availing themselves to this court or any other. And the thought to flee and the likelihood of flight is great in the state's opinion. The danger he poses to the community is a factor that this court can consider, and I think with the facts in front of you, Judge, we can't name a person that poses a greater threat to the community. As his prior record goes, Judge, it is fairly minimal. He was charged with domestic violence in 2010. He is not, to my knowledge, on probation community control. Judge, the facts of this case are hopefully like no other we will ever see. When this case gets indicted in the Court of Common Pleas, I am certain that a no bond hearing will be held, and I would hope that would be granted. But at this point, at this juncture, we're going to ask this court to issue a bond we've never asked for before. I'm going to ask for a bond of $20 million. I hope I never need to request such a bond again.
Thank you. Date for preliminary hearing?
The date for the preliminary hearing, Judge, is 6/26.
No objection, Your Honor.
The preliminary hearing will be set for June 26th at 1 p.m. At this point in time, bond's going to be set in the amount of $20 million cash or surety. Anything else at this time, Mr. Gast?
No, Judge.
Mr. Dale? Mr. Kalm, anything further?
Nothing at this time.
All right, thank you.
All rise.
There's a limited gag order on the case, and the next court date is 9/22 of this year. And I'll be sure to watch it and share anything. But this is a death penalty case, guys. They are seeking the death penalty for Chad, and I hope it sticks. If there was ever a reason for the death penalty, this is it. This is it. I mean, we've seen Susan Smith, drive her babies into the water. We've seen this over and over and over with mothers. But when it's a father, I don't know. Where did all that anger come from like that? And was it said in the court documents it was premeditated? How can you premeditate to execute your 3, 4, and 7-year-old babies and follow through? Just absolutely sickening. But I'll be bringing more on this case for you as it becomes available. I just wanted to kind of get the story started. When I do follow-ups, you'll know what I'm speaking of. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section, and I will either answer them while I'm scrolling through, or I will address them in the next video, because I promise you this will not be the last video on Chad Doerman. But if you don't mind, if you'll take just a few moments to like this video, it goes a long way. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you'll tap that notification bell, you will be notified when I upload a new video. I'm going to start doing follow-ups on some of my other videos. And if you haven't watched, please do. Please know that I was a little newer to getting into this style of commentating. So you'll see a lot of different progressions, me trying different things. Some worked, some didn't. And people let me know about it in the comments. So just don't be rude. But guys, that's all I've got. Just keep these babies, this family, everyone in your thoughts, your prayers, your hearts as they go through this horrible, difficult time. Because like I said, this is current. Anyway, I will see you guys later.